those assets, bad assets from the bank, from various banks, and put it into that holding company. It will have some participation from the government, but largely it will be the IBA itself doing it. So that holding company would then spruce up the accounts, understand where the asset valuation is, and because year after year after year we are giving provisioning, these banks have already lost a certain net worth of these assets which are with them. They have already taken, probably in paper, a haircut, but they have not realized anything out of sitting over those assets for years, but providing for it in their bank books. Now, once these assets are culled out and given to this holding company, they shall be able to do some kind of a, clearly making sit up, sure, and then call for private sector asset reconstruction companies, AIFs, all to come and look at what they want to do with an asset which is like that with them and sell off the asset. And even at that, whatever is realized, the banks will have to get some part of what they have to get, in the sense with the due haircut taken, they will also get something from that realized monies. So the bank essentially therefore gets back what it should get back, and ideally, because they are not in a position to, or they don't have the wherewithal to deal with such assets, because they are running the bank on an everyday basis, yes, they don't have with them such experts who can understand what it is to deal with asset reconstruction. And these assets are sitting there languishing, not getting sold off. Now with this holding company and with also the market coming in, those assets are going to find some kind of a buyer, and the banks therefore forever can get out of that situation and realize whatever little they can. So this is a workable solution that we are bringing in. The banks are all on board. We've had extensive consultation with them and with the Reserve Bank of India. So there will be a proper institutional framework through which this will happen in an absolutely transparent way.
Okay. You're expecting tax revenues to grow by 15% to 15.45 lakh crore. For this to happen, the Indian companies will have to grow at the same pace as they were, perhaps much more than they were pre-pandemic. Are you confident of that? Do you think that we have turned around?
I think the Indian industry has also slowly revealed that the corporate tax rate cuts have also helped them, although it happened pre-pandemic.
Yes.
Now, many of them have also offloaded their debts. They are looking at now expansion. Expansion is happening in core sector industries. There are also a lot of pickup in exports. People are seeing it's possible to invest and grow. So I guess the private sector's spirit to come and invest and start widening their domain, together with also raising funds. For instance, we are working on the listing, the Morgan Stanley index, on which the ministry has worked now for some time, and I expect some kind of a resolution this summer. And if after that companies can go about raising, they automatically will receive, now that they are part of that larger index, they will receive funds, and with that I think there will be greater investable fund available.
Nirmala ji, there is a little bit of confusion around the agri-infra cess. What really was the idea behind this?
I'll just give you a broad principle.
Yeah.
Many of the customs duty, the items selected for it, are those which can afford to pay the duties as it exists today. But even then, even as we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat, intention being that import should happen at least for those sectors where the raw materials are coming from abroad. So, for instance, if you were paying a BCD of 12%, something like that in gold, for instance, we brought the BCD down to, let us say, 7%. And after that, we just added 3 to 4% of this cess, which we want essentially to be carving out from that customs duty only for the purpose of funding infrastructure in agriculture. The end of the story in each of these items on which I have imposed the cess, the agricultural infrastructure development cess, is the end consumer or the importer is not going to pay 1 rupee more. The reduction in customs and the imposition of the cess, infrastructure cess, net is not going to burden the consumer or the importer. But why did I have to do it? I had to do it because I wanted to make sure that the fund for funding infra in agri is got a head on which I am earning certain amount, and that can be used. Otherwise, the BCD goes into the account, all right.